This is it, the last ride on this bike. I announced that on Sunday, and then I got another few days. Long story, won't bore you with it. Anyway, but it's going back at 10:30 today, and it's about 6:30 today. So 4 more hours. Okay, goodbye to the Cannondale Lab71 with SRAM Force AXS 2023 edition. I'll show you some little photos, and then I'll take my last ride, and then I'll return it, and then go back to my bike. That's okay. Okay, there we go. It served me well. I'll put the kilometre count somewhere around there. Okay, and let's see if I can make a little summary at my turnaround spot. The very quick overview of the group set that I've been issued with for review for these last few months is bloody fantastic. Like that's pretty much it. Like, it's quiet, it's comfortable, it's efficient. I haven't had any problems at all. No, I'm just thinking no flat batteries. I have had to recharge a few times, but nothing went wrong. I didn't have a rear derailleur problem. Front derailleur never, chucked the chain. Not once, actually. True, honestly. I stayed largely in the big ring, but then I did go up some climbs, so I did use I think it's a 34. I love the ratio at the back, suits me, lazy person. I think it's a 30, I can't remember now, 32? Anyway, 12 speed, you know all of the rest, wireless. It's more than cosmetic changes. I mean, everyone was just saying, oh, it's just cosmetic changes. Yeah. So they adopted the AXS, no, what's the other one? They adopted the shape of the rival hoods. Big deal. So we can expect red will look like that shortly. And I'll talk more later. It's a pretty big sea today, and there's quite a wind blowing, so I'll see if I can get some shelter for my chat to the camera about the bike. Okay. Anyway, forgive me if I'm a little bit distracted, but here's the bike. Last ride, goes back in a few hours. Whales jumping. Whales everywhere, sorry. The bike. The shifting is fantastic. The ratio is good. You can be in the big chain ring at the front and the 32 at the back. It's not recommended, but you can. There's a little bit of fine tuning required. I switched the wheels out a few times, and I've run 32mm Continental GP5000s on the new Lab71 Super-Six Evo. They fit, and they roll beautifully. They give a completely different sensation to the 28s that it came with. These are, from memory, 30. Anyway, the point is I've switched the wheels out. I had Campagnolo Shimals on this. I had the Zip 303 Firecrest that you see here. I've also had Zip, yeah, that's it. So those two. And I was changing them around a bit, and I did some of the micro adjusts, and it's easy as pie. So if you're out on a ride and you sort of feel like there might be a little bit of adjustment required, it's just a case of, I've got to remember what I had to do. Hold the button down and then just go tuk tuk tuk, and you get a little micro adjust. You can fine tune it on the hop. I think in the SRAM catalogue it says, or in the SRAM how-to video, it says to do it in a car park, but I did it in a bunch ride. It was that easy. So, if you feel like you're not getting exactly the shift that you want, make sure you just give it that fine tune, and it's easy to manage. With the bike, I find this interesting. So there's there's a through axle, but there's no show. So that just goes into a housing there. And on the other side, obviously, you see the bolt. Okay, so that's interesting, isn't it? It's a 6 mil, I think, at the front, and a 5 mil at the rear. So, you know, get a bit of diversity with your multi-tools if you're carrying them out there and you need to change wheels while you're riding a bike. Comfort factor, bloody surprising, because I've talked about this last time, but given that it's elongated, as in no give seat post, it's aero, and it should be a little bit harsh, but it's not. I don't find it harsh at all. I don't know about those people who sort of say that one bike is super comfortable and another is really rigid, but there is a tiny discrepancy, you know, from one bike to the next. The Lapierre that I had before this as a review bike was quite a lot rougher. This one was smoother, and towards the end of it, to be honest, there were days where I got up to speed, and I was a bit flippant about the aero claims when I first got the bike, but I'm starting to believe that this bike, yes, it is in fact much more aero. I talked about that once before. I just quickly, I wished, given that I had the bike much longer than I was told I would, that I switched out these handlebars. Anyway, I didn't, so that's life. See the handlebars, see the levers now. I've pulled them in quite a bit, and that's it. I'm staying that way. I'm never going to go back. It's way more efficient. I like it. It's comfortable. The hood shape is like I do every sort of position possible, but I'll do something just while I can demonstrate in front of the camera. I'm shifting in all kinds of ways. I'm doing this, but I'm also doing a bit of this. I can be doing that. See that? Beep, beep, like that. Just little pinky ones, and it's just a really good. I really like that lever. I think it's exactly how you want it to be. It's comfortable. It's it's attractive. Just at the end, just at the very end of the testing period, the brake pads have hit their limit. So if I knew that I was keeping this bike, I would have changed those brake pads a little while ago. But I kept being told, we'll come and collect it soon, we'll come and collect it soon. They didn't. Just towards the end this last week, I've been riding with the time pedals. That's part of the SRAM family. If you haven't tried them, I highly recommend it. They're bloody fantastic, really. I really like the system. It's great. I was getting used to the Wahoo PowerLink pedal, so I used to clip in going, ugh! But it's just a little bit more pronounced to clip in. These, that just welcomes your foot. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Yeah, try it, and I'm pretty confident to say that you'll like it. I'm just trying to give an overview. I don't know. Like, batteries, no problems. I swapped in here. I didn't change any of the the C2032 or whatever it is. But in the power meter, I switched it once, and I recharged the batteries just when I saw the orange light on a ride, just to make sure that I got the green light again. And I never got stranded, not once. I like the modulation. It's suitable. Just with the brake pads a bit worn now, it feels a bit old, a bit agricultural, a bit not so fun. But the bike is really quite terrific, and I'm lamenting having to give it back. But these things happen. You know, you can't have a bloody expensive bike for free all of the time, can you? And well, to be honest, at the end, I say when I'm reviewing bikes that the best time to make your commentary on what you notice is at the beginning, because that's when, you know, all of the differences are really noticeable. And now that I'm so familiar with the bike, I'm sort of stretching my mind to try and think what I need to tell you about. So please, you know, if you've got a question, just drop it in the comments and I will get back to you. Unless I get flooded, but I mean, you know, I'll do my best to get back to you and I'll give you my honest, sincere answer. I'm interested to see how I readapt when I get back on my Focus Salgo Max of 2019 or so. I think that was the sort of the generation of bike when, you know, disc brakes had been refined, the longer wheelbase that had come with the original disc brake road bikes had sort of been remedied. The higher bottom bracket to compensate for the trend of bigger bag tyres was coming into effect. And, you know, like if you haven't ridden a bike since, let's say, 2018, a new bike since 2018, I highly recommend giving it a whirl, because things have changed a lot in road cycling, a lot. And if you're sort of curious about some of the, you know, alterations and you're new to cycling, I did a video with this bike, which is 2023, and then my collectible Black Lightning Cannondale Cat 7 aluminium. And you can find the links below. Have a look at that. It's just, I mean, it's just sort of spelling out the obvious, but disc brakes are here. They're here to stay. I don't understand why people are so resistant or cynical or whingy about it. It's a light bike. I've got lighter bikes, but I never sort of felt like, oh, I can't climb up this hill because it's just too heavy. The gear ratio is terrific. I watched the Last Rider the other day, which is a film about Greg LeMond in the 1989 Tour de France. And it was just, given how you spin in 2023, it was quite remarkable to watch how much they were just like, just pushing this huge gears. Like, cycling's changed so much of late. And I think this bike's a big, you know, like pretty much represents the current era of innovation very nicely. I'm interested to see what they come up with next, but my feeling is that the next movement for SRAM is going to have to be in response to this trend for pushing the levers inwards. And that's just going to have to, you know, come a time where the Groupset manufacturers say, okay, the kids love it that way, the kids are riding, the kids are part of cycling's future. Let's find a solution, and I think that we'll start seeing some ergonomical changes on the hoods. And that's about it. There is an app that you can use for the SRAM arrangement. You know, the AXS deal, and you can, you know, get an understanding of what gear you use the most and all sorts of things. I used it probably once. So, you know, take it or leave it. If you're that way inclined, I'm sure you'll really get the most out of it. But I fiddle around enough with my bikes already to, you know, switching wheels and tyres and saddles and all sorts of bits and pieces, shoes and cleats and pedals and blah, blah, blah. So, and I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, and at one point I just was like, no, I'm not really that interested in the app. I'm sure it's got benefits, and one day I might explore it. And if you do, please leave a comment and tell me why, you know, floats your boat, or, you know, why it sucks. And I'm interested in your feedback, and I hope that the wind noise isn't too dramatic while I sit here in quite a blustery southerly. Anyway, that's me. That's the Cannondale. It's been a terrific time with this bike. I've loved it. I highly recommend riding SRAM Force AXS. It's cheaper than the Red, and it's newer than the Red. So, and Red being the top tier, AXS, Rival, and I forget the other one. One more thing. When I got this bike for review, I was also loaned a Hammerhead cycle computer, which is part of the SRAM family as well, and I never used it because I'm used to my Wahoo Element Bolt. So I guess at some point I'm going to have to give that a whirl and see if I, you know, if I can make that change. Because once you're accustomed to something that you like, you know, a change is as good as a holiday, but it's also nice to have something that you're familiar with. So I'm familiar with this bike now, and I'm regretfully going to be handing it back in well, now it's closing in on a couple of hours. So I don't think I can talk any more about it. I'll go and enjoy the tailwind home, and that'll be the end of this test session. So thanks very much for watching. As I said before, any questions, any comments, don't be shy. And next time you see me, I'll be on a different bike. Although there's a whole lot of footage collected, which I haven't edited, which features this bike, so you might see it again. Okay, all right. All right, cool. I'll go and get my bike ready, and I'll get on with riding a different thing. All right, thanks. Cheers. Thanks, Cannondale. Thanks, SRAM. They're all black cockatoos. Heaps of them. What a treat. Listen. I can't ignore that. Totally amazing. Oh my God, what an absolute treat.